Yeah, yes. Good evening, Chairperson. How are you? So this project here, we just came in and revised a few things. If you look at the, the, uh, the, the third story of the building itself, we provide some parking, providing some color for the inside of the building. The building itself is in the face of the stone, and within that cast stone area, we're providing some more color of the building within. Now, if you look at the previous building in here, that's the previous one that shows everything in color, in separate than what we have in the cast stone on top. So now we provide the same thing that we have, provide any brown area. This one here, it's cast stone. It's, yes. So actually what we show here in the lines in here, that shows how the existing building it is. And what they did, they painted the building. They painted the building. So you only see, in general, only see the paint, but you look inside, you can see all the cast stones are separate from each other, which is nice. Then what we try to provide something like a casement on one of the four windows, just to allow some grills that looks like almost like a French door building with a railing. I'm gonna turn it also brown. We're gonna cover the I don't know what they call it, but that's it. Paint. Then we have the two windows on each side of the three bays. The three bays are existing and providing also another casement, what we call it casement, but we can make it look like fixed glass with grills that make it look like a casement. Yes. The other thing that we're trying to do, on the bottom, there's an existing panel that we're gonna turn it into metal. It's existing right now that they didn't peel it off yet. So when you peel it off, you'll see the same anodized metal that's in there. Now, the lighting. The lighting. On the first, see now, if we can do, guess what happened? Later on, it's gonna peel off because it's a anodized glass right now. If you want to try to, we can do it, except
Replace, what about those are anodized panels also.
here and here, all anodized as well as. But, I mean, we can do it in here and in here. Obviously, we can turn it brown. Except in here, you're gonna see the peel out of this at the end.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I know, I don't mind the color. It's fine. It will look good.
I think adding the color to the first level is going to obviously make it more harmonious. I understand why you stepped away from it, but I guess that's some maintenance requirement of the owner. But yeah, otherwise it doesn't look like it's very harmonious.
That's true, except that,
And I'm thinking even if it were, no, I'm sorry, even if it were in some type of accent, I don't necessarily, it wouldn't necessarily have to be the entire frame of the storefront glass. If it were the light fixtures in that color, and the handles, and maybe the square panels at the bottom, something that ties in that color to the first story.
Can you put any kind of pottery there, like any kind of planter there that's stationary? I mean, it is a hotel. It is a hotel.
Let me see if we can work it out. Maybe the doors
That
can be
would,
done separate.
that would definitely help. And maybe the light fixtures, are they existing, the two light fixtures on the sconces? That would be an easy change in terms of adding that finish. If if each set of doors were the color and the light fixtures, I think that would be accent enough.
Okay,
Can we do that?
sure, we can do that. But here we try to provide three colors in here. Three lights in here that can be a tube, so to speak. And that's about 6-inch diameter. And then it has light that goes down.
Right, but the finish of the lighting,
Uh,
Me.
Then
Of
we
that
can,
color.
we can provide the, like, if you want to make it look brown. we
It could
can
be
do-
bronze,
Yeah,
Tom?
that's
Put it
Yeah.
with a bronze finish?
so we agree that the light fixtures on this particular elevation be brown, of the same coloring as you've accented on the third and second story, as well as both sets of double doors?
Mhm.
Okay. I think that's tie-in enough without too much
Yeah.
involvement. You were going on to say,
So now, okay, the other lighting that we thought about for the sign itself, we were thinking about something to do is as if we thought some hue color underneath the thing on this, on the top.
what material is that?
But we decided not to provide with something like this.
Okay, got ya.
With the light that comes in. And then we continue
Yep,
all the way.
okay. And the signs, when you go for that application, they'll be single letters and they'll be backlit, or no, they won't be
No,
backlit because you have the
just-
lighting?
Yeah,
Got you.
and then in the future, we're gonna provide all these signs. Because right now, just dealing with the hotel, that's which door is coming in through. Beyond that, are gonna be done future by sign.
Might I make another suggestion? Since this is a hotel, perhaps an awning as coverage from the elements above the storefront doors would be a way to bring in the color, as well as provide a little shelter in inclement weather.
Where would you like it? Here?
No, above the double doors, if possible.
There's an offset there, the entrance to the hotel is set back,
Got you.
so there's already lighting that's supposed to be
Okay,
up
so
over
that's
the,
recessed in. Is that, is
Yes.
the one on the right side recessed?
no, it's a separate space.
Can we do it on that side?
That would require everything being taken down, moved back into the space.
Meaning the awning. The awning sits on the outside of the, and.
Okay, you're talking about the awning, yeah,
Could
all
you
right.
sketch that for him so that he understands?
No, I understand what
Well,
you're saying. on
let's
the-
be clear.
Yeah.
If Tom sketch that on,
Yeah, let
If
me
we
show,
could.
let me see, let me get some color.
We gotta really make sure the signs, now complements Because as they do these things, the sign is on the wall.
I'm not sure it's all
Speak to
what
them.
I'm saying. Sorry?
Perhaps a rounded, a dome style to bring in the top arch element.
Yeah, because I know the buildings, the enclave next door, they don't have any kind of awning, they just have.
I understand, but
Metal.
we're,
I
yeah,
thought you were trying to bring everything together on the block that way.
not necessarily,
Okay.
but most important is to make this building cohesive
Okay.
aesthetically in the front elevation. Since you've done these nice alterations, bring in the color and the style of windows. So we want to bring in that color on the first level as well, so it obviously fits in. How that would be great. If the lighting, the awning and the doors would be that color, we're golden.
And what type of awning are you referring to?
Brown.
It would be a color brown. Now, Tom, are you thinking a roof style awning or a fabric awning? What are you thinking?
A metal and, I mean, you know,
A metal,
metal.
okay, something's,
Definitely.
okay.
Yeah.
As long as the color, a metal in that design that you sketched in would be fine. And again, it's a small detail, but
Right.
it certainly ties into,
It is, if it's a metal frame with fabric in that color, that would work.
if it's a metal frame with fabric in that color,
But
would
that's
it
what
work?
Would it be retractable?
No,
No,
Mm-mm.
no, so it's gonna
No.
be stationary,
Yeah.
so you're better off
Mhm.
with the metal.
I'm thinking,
Yeah.
I'm processing,
Me
in
too.
my visually processing. And if I were to think out loud, I would be open. The awning in a fabric texture might bring in some warmth. And I'm leaning towards that, as opposed to metal.
Right.
Yeah,
Frame.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So let's think about the frame.
Pardon me?
Yeah, we can do something either way. Can send you something to you, some picture.
Some pictures would be great. to be able to
Yes.
see that.
Thank you.
Look, yeah. Want a dome like that?
Well, that's what I was thinking initially. That's a smaller door
No, but there's a double
and-
door here too.
in a fabric awning. Tom, a visual reference as I was
Oh, the.
talking, round, to bring in the rounded detail of
Yeah.
the top. Yeah,
So now, I mean, I thought about this over here,
that's why the rounded,
but
Mhm.
in here, being that straight, we can use it.
yeah, I
Squares,
think,
yeah.
yeah, thank you, Linda. Yeah,
So you want it here?
Right.
no, just on the storefront level. We
Storefront.
don't want to,
But to make it round, it's very difficult to do.
on that level.
Because we have, otherwise we're gonna end up being this. one. You know,
Yeah,
And tell me what,
why is that? a problem?
because of the glass or tell me what,
it's too big. But
it's
it's up to
too
you.
big. It's too big.
I mean, there's something that could be done on this side, but this being offset with cover.
You mean
above the head.
recess?
Recess, yes.
Yeah, so
Um,
then let's do it just over that door.
Hey, this one, so you see the double
Yeah.
doors here.
We'll do it just over that door.
the double door that's
Just the
there,
double door.
and with the door having some color, the
Yeah.
same to match the
Okay.
color of the
Right.
awning, that would be, that's
Okay.
easy.
Okay,
May I
Thank
just
you.
ask a question? Is the hotel is on the third floor or the second? floor?
Both.
It's,
Oh, it's
it's
second
all,
and third floor.
yeah, the lobby is through these double
Oh.
doors, and then the elevator goes up to,
And then the other door goes where?
that's a separate space on the ground.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
retail space,
the retail space.
Yeah,
okay.
And what are the tiles on the top, Tom? What are they?
And here.
The
the
Spanish
Spanish tiles, yeah,
Spanish
just
style,
the
what,
brown,
a
yeah.
terracotta color?
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what I thought you wanted to match the colors to reflect
No,
all
that's,
of that.
that's fine.
Then if you see the color, that brown, which is the sandstone by Anderson. They use, because we might have to provide something for Anderson, and they have the color that they have, and you can match that color.
Are those windows recessed? Is the painting, the painted part of the windows recessed?
They are,
They're a little recessed.
Not much, but it has framing going around it,
Oh,
so
that'll be nice.
it gives it a flush look, but it is, you can tell better when the color is.
they're definitely recessed, and definitely big
Yeah.
recess in here and those.
Yeah, I meant on the third.
Yeah,
Yeah, now I see where you were talking about those doors being recessed. So the dome awning, the light fixtures, as well as the doors will be the brown color.
Yes.
Now, I understand you're gonna continue the lighting onto the other
Right.
building.
Exactly.
The signing will be the same and the light fixture will be the same.
Yes.
Now, did we talk about making changes to any windows in that
No,
building?
no, we've just thought about this.
This one.
here.
Okay, okay. Okay. Thank you for your attention to
Thank
the
you.
request. And I think certainly, I hope you're happy with,
not a problem whatsoever.
it's gonna look,
We just,
That'll look very.
yeah,
yeah, get it.
It's gonna look very
finished,
nice.
State that
Sure.
everybody's happy.
yeah, okay. So, hi. Nkechi, can you recap those notations that we made?
I have two. A fabric rounded dome awning to be installed over the double doors. And the awning light fixtures and doors to be a brown color to match the accents on the second and third story. Is there any more?
Well, that, I believe summarizes it. Is there a motion to approve based on them making those changes?
I make a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, all the best.
Thank you.
Anytime. Thank you. Okay, the next item on the agenda. Is an administrative items. 10-16 East Broad Street, section 165.30. In the R1 4.5 single family residential district. Is that applicant here? Is that applicant? Oh, it's an administrative item. Do they need to be here? Did I skip something? I did it again.
Sounds sick.
I apologize. They are outside. Okay. Okay, 537, item 3.2, 537, South Sixth Avenue, section 169.47, block 3081, in the R2 4.52 family residential district. The board has received an affidavit of signed posting. The owner is Brendan Ahern, represented by Dennis Douglas. The previously reviewed subdivision was an unlisted action under SEQA. Okay, the plan, okay, lead agency and issued, okay. Sorry for that aside. The subject property, they're requesting a certificate of appropriateness to construct a proposed two-story and basement frame residence on a newly subdivided lot. And represented by Douglas Dennison. I don't think that's-
Dennis Douglas.
Ms. Douglas. Hi.
Good evening, everyone.
Say your name.
Yes, my name is Carl Scully. I'm the attorney that represents the applicant. And as Madam Chair indicated, we are seeking a certificate of appropriateness to construct a two-family house on what's now a vacant lot. Just as a bit of background, we did present this project to the zoning board wherein we made an application for a area variance. As you can see from the documentation that we provided you, the subdivided lot includes an existing two-family house that's on a 52 by 105 lot. The lot that we're proposing to develop is 48 feet frontage and 105. Obviously, that's the reason why we had to present the project to the zoning board, since we did not meet the building code dimensional requirements. It's 50, we have 48. However, our lot area met the lot area requirements, given the fact that the depth of the lot itself was 105 feet.
Mhm.
The zoning requirement is 5,000. With the lot depth, it's approximately 5,040 feet. That was approved by the zoning board. We then went to planning, and the application was approved by the planning board with a number of incorporated recommendations that were negotiated with the planning board, which included dealing with the issue of parking. One of the things that I would want to point out to this esteemed body is that we provided parking that exceeded the parking requirements. If you look at the drawings, and I'm going to leave that to the architect. We have 2 parking spaces that are in the garage itself. And then based on the recommendation of the planning board, we incorporated 3 additional parking spaces in the front of the property within the 20-foot setback. So the total number of parking spaces is actually 5 on the property itself. I also think it would be useful for me to give the review board just a brief overview of the existing or what had existed at this lot. And I'll hand up this photograph. I'm not sure it's included in your packet, but this was the existing house that was on the lot itself. As you can see, that property was in significant disrepair and was actually abandoned. My client invested a significant amount of resources into this property, and it was completely renovated, and this is what it looks like now. And I just have one more photograph that I think might be useful for the board to look at. This provides you with a view of the vacant lot as it exists now, the 48 by 105 lots. And this rendering sets out the proposed construction. This is a 2-family house, and I will permit the architect to go over the individual drawings. But just to give you a general synopsis, we believe that this design is consistent with what's on the block itself. There are, just to give you some numbers, there are 3 on the east side of South 6th Avenue. There are 3 one-family dwellings, 5 2-families, and 3 3-family dwellings. On the opposite side of South Sixth Avenue on the west side, you have 4 one-family dwellings, 4 two-family dwellings, and 3 three-family dwellings. The architect will also provide you with a view of the entire block itself. And what you'll notice on this block is that the predominant construction is in fact frame. And there is a mix of the type of our architectural design that's on the block. We do have some bungalows. We do have, some very pedestrian, for lack of a better word, basic frame constructed 1 and 2 family homes. But to the extent that this rendering might give the impression that this is a substantial change in the character of the construction, I think the board should keep in mind that this is still a frame constructed house. And obviously, the architectural style might not be exactly exact or consistent with everything on the block, but just as a general matter, it is to the extent that it is frame construction, and it does not significantly deviate from the aesthetics and the architectural design concepts of what's existing on this block. So I'll give you an opportunity to digest the material that is currently before the board. And at this time, if you have any specific questions about the design itself, I'll turn it over to the architect. And certainly if you have any additional questions for me, I'd be more than happy to address those.
Thank you very much.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Wilton Jarrett. I represent Dennis Douglas Engineering. As Mr. Scully said, this is the rendering that we had for the proposed 2-family. And also here we have the site plan that show the location of the cars on the outside, the location of the cars on the inside, and the planting along the property line, as was approved by the board. We'll also have the fencing along the property line here from this distance to about 24 feet here. We'll have like 4 feet high, and the remaining would be 6 feet go around and stop here again. And from here, 24 feet. And this would be the aluminum block fence. That's what we're proposing. But this has to do with the exterior. As was previously mentioned by Mr. Scully, this is the house to the south that is newly renovated. And this is the proposed rendering, proposed structure, frame structure with brick at the bottom, right around the entire bottom. And we have stucco around the entire building with asphalt shingle roof. We'll have some kinds at the sides, so as to give it the aesthetic appeal and so forth.
Do you have an image of the back?
An image of the back. The rendering, we did not do an image of the back for the rendering. We were just considering the sides because it's a new building. But at the back, as indicated on the plans, sorry.
I see the rear elevation.
Yes, this is the rear elevation that shows the back. It's a patio in the back. and sliding glass doors with double hung windows.
So the windows are pane 4/0?
Pardon me?
The windows are pane
For
4/0?
over zero, yes, yes, just
the front too?
indicated. Right, okay.
The driveway, again, you said it accommodates 3 cars?
3 cars, yes, we'll make it wider so it can accommodate the 3 cars.
And explain, if you would, the lighting, on the building.
The type of lighting?
I do see a sconce. Or is it a corner post, or both? Perhaps. Jared. Other way. No.
Sorry.
The brass fin light cone, that's what we're planning on using. Using in the front,
Brass as a finish?
yes. Unless you recommend.
Maintenance.
Well, I don't see, I'm thinking visually. Is there a reason you wanted brass? Just curious.
You have to talk to Brandon.
Was there a reason that you wanted a brass finish light sconce?
No reason. We just thought of like with the brick and stuff like that and this stuff. We can make it a black fixture.
What
Maybe.
color is your roof?
It's
What's your
black,
roof?
it's
black?
asphalt, black,
Black,
That'd be like a
This is
drop
the
coat.
front door.
yeah.
yeah, black.
Mhm.
I'm thinking.
And the fencing is black, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, the fence is black. Yeah.
But the railing,
The railing
It's
is
white.
painted black.
oh, this
Also
is
be-
the, oh, and that's why you have it noted as raw?
Well, he hasn't like,
Yeah, he does have it. So which will it be?
it'll be white, I guess. We can paint it black if you think black would look nicer. Either color is fine with me.
I
so,
understand.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at that.
We built a house very similar on 9th Avenue, very similar to this one. It's a beautiful house, yeah.
So part of me is okay with the railing on the house itself being white because your garage door is white. And I feel like there's enough black accents that you're tying in. If the railing were black, I think it would look very harsh. So I'm okay with the railing to being white,
Pretty stuck.
but the fence around the house
Black.
being black.
Yeah.
Back to that sconce. I'm thinking,
Sorry, this is what fence.
yes,
Have enough of it.
yeah, I think if I have to ask, that's usually my rule. You have to ask, then that's your answer.
Yeah,
So maybe doing the sconce and then a black finish.
yeah, that's not.
Yeah.
We'll probably be fine with the door anyway, yeah.
Oh, yeah, the door color, yes, fine. And am I correct to Linda's question? She asked what color was the roof? But I
But we
see,
have,
is that the color and not black? We have a discrepancy.
I would like the roof to be that color.
You would like the
black
roof to
color,
be
yeah.
black. I
This
agree.
is the material, it's a timberline shingle.
Okay,
okay,
so the color will be black. We'll
Yes.
confirm that.
okay.
Yeah, it will be black,
Okay.
the charcoal.
And the lighting with the door black, yes.
Yeah.
That
Fine.
works.
And in the spirit of Commissioner Riley, you have native plantings around the perimeter. Native, what's on this planting schedule?
Spruce,
Is that native spruce?
it's a native tree, yes, because that's what was one of the questions from the planning.
Spruce native to Mount Vernon? No.
Well,
I actually believe that what we had agreed to, was to plant 6-foot arborvitae's. What we had discussed with the planning board is whether or not they would be green giants or emeralds.
Well, we had, we're pretty specific to native plants because it will certainly, be a lot easier to maintain and certainly, well, aesthetically
We
looks
set the
wonderful
same
as well.
tree 6 years ago on Ninth Avenue and they came out really.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So let's just make a notation for the plantings to be native.
Native.
Do you have any other,
No,
I don't
I'm,
think we lost
I'm
that.
good.
do you have any other thoughts
Yeah,
or
good.
questions? I
Yeah.
think,
We're good.
I think we're good. And Kathy, would you mind just recapping the notations for this applicant
Yes. Railings to be white,
on the house? Yes.
railings
House.
on the house, railings on the house
Like this.
to be white, fence around the house to be black, light sconce to be black, roof to be black, timberline asphalt shingle, and landscape plan to use native, non-invasive plants only.
Okay, that summarizes it. Is there a motion to approve? Is there a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you.
Thank you.
very much.
Thank you, sir.
Nice.
Have a good
looking.
evening.
Thank you.
Very nice.
And you, I don't know if you need these back or did you want these? Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Yes, I lose my agenda. Thank you. Okay, I want to make sure I don't skip anything this time.
You're on
The
what?
next item, 3.3, ARB 329 Wildwood Avenue. Section 169.55, block 3101, lot 24, single family residence district. The ARB board has received an affidavit of signed posting. The owner is Sandra Richards, represented by Gail Asher. Let's see. The applicant is requesting a certificate of appropriateness to replace the entire garage structure with a new garage that will be the same exact size and custom design and built with all new lumber roofing, windows, doors, and siding. You have the floor.
Well, she's getting prepared. Hi,
Hello.
I'm back. No, I'm gonna let you talk.
Yeah.
Right.
29 Wildwood. I got it. Thank you. Putting it together.
There,
Hello.
Gail,
Hi,
Asher, the
Gail.
architect. We worked with Maria and we've been working with Lucas. Is Lucas here?
He's there.
Hi, Lucas. Nice to finally meet you. I have more handouts because we've actually had to make some changes. And so, can we pass these around?
Sure. Yeah.
Pre-existing, well, pre-existing. But, code. And then the proposed color for color. And there's a little room for that. Everybody here. Drawing.
The design.
This is the old one.
Yeah. Design. Okay, Maria.
Okay, so Gail.
Gail, I'm sorry.
So,
Maria.
initially, we, were looking at a shed that was not gonna be, and shut up if I say something wrong. But, Sandra, the homeowner, wanted a shed for her, bicycles and it was a motorcycle, whatever it was. And, we learned that the zoning code does not allow you to tear down a garage without replacing it in her zone in Mount Vernon. So we backtracked, she's working with a shed company and they were able to provide a design that met her satisfaction with a garage door, an overhead garage door, that would meet her, needs, it's still a garage. So she could use it as a garage for storage, whatever she wants. So that's the new design. We're back, so we don't need a zoning variance. We just need architecture review board approval. So that's the beginning of it. And then, the design is, it's much nicer than what was there. If you see, it was in a very dilapidated state and it really had to be torn down. So, it's a huge improvement. It's gonna be right on the slab, same location, essentially the same height, more or less, just much nicer. And she's willing to invest quite a bit of money. It's gonna be a benefit to her neighbors. So we got some feedback from the building department, Lizanne, about the floor. She was worried that even though they stand by that it's the floors, the plywood floor would support a garage, she had some concerns. So we just decided to change it. And since the design is probably going to be a knockdown scenario anyway, and instead of prefab, it's going to come in parts and they're going to assemble it, that we would change the design to this detail, which I just drew up and uploaded to the site. I don't know if anyone's trying to see it, but we're just going to sit it right on the foundation wall, right on the perimeter of the slab. Not a foundation wall, it doesn't need a foundation wall, there's really no load, but we're going to put it on the perimeter on the 6-inch slab. We'll tie it in every 4 feet. We'll put excessive number of bolts in to tie it in, and makes everybody happy. No floor, no plywood floor, no worry about tongue and groove, no worried about, ramping up. We're going to build it right on the slab. So that I uploaded, that, you can keep that design for the file. This is changed. And I can update this drawing and upload it too, but I put a note on there. Oh, here it is. I put a note on.
So this will better support the car, any vehicle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I think so. I think any concern should
Yeah.
be, I passed it by my structural engineer, he said, you have no problem.
Yeah.
So, and you want a small one, detail, just to make sure everybody's happy and on the same page.
Did you want to put a lighting back there? Did you want to have a lighting fixture on the structure? Because you had looks like a motion detector. Motion detection lighting.
It was my security, yes.
Yeah.
Where was it? It was on there before? It was-
Yeah, it's on the top. It'd be safe if you had something.
And I still have on the side of the house.
Well, there was one there existing, so,
No.
I mean, you could put it on the sides. It doesn't have to be in the center there, but obviously, if you're driving up, it's safer for you at night.
Well, if they're gonna have an overhead garage door with an opener, there's gonna be electricity, right? Or is there-
Still, lighting is always
Yeah, still
good
exists,
for
so-
safety.
Yeah, no, I'm just
Yeah.
saying that they probably want to light inside. for the
There
garage
is
door.
usually,
Yeah, so.
part of the mechanism. So, yeah. I don't know how much space is between the top frame of the, garage door and the vent. So you might want to just put them on the sides, it'll look nicer. Yeah, other than that, we're looking good. Yeah, all right. Does anyone want to make a motion to approve with that one condition?
I will. We'll make
So
a motion.
hold on.
Maybe I'm lighting.
Lighting on the
Lighting
sides
on the side.
of the front elevation, on the sides of the garage, over the door.
Well, there just need to be one light, right?
Yeah, one light is fine. Whatever-
Yeah, maybe on the corner.
Whatever you want to do.
But well, it's right on, that's one, if you look at it's on the perimeter, so it don't really need to be on the left side, because that
One
is
is
right on the neighbor's property.
One is fine.
It would be from the neighbor's property, so, on the left side.
Okay.
on the left side of the overhead door.
And would the board also like a condition that applicant to submit revised plans to reflect all proposed changes? Perhaps including notes regarding the bolting, spacing of ties? Okay,
That's here, and she will update the plan
Mhm.
to get that.
okay, she'll do,
So
okay.
that's not necessary, except for her to send those to Maria, those updates. We have this update, and she'll update it digitally. It looks like the only condition is the lighting on the left side of the structure.
You want to keep that in this?
I'm gonna hang on to this. if that's okay.
Yeah, please. This is all uploaded? Maybe not the color, has to be.
If
You want me to know that you kind of think that new color?
Well, you let us know that, when we see that color, you
Yeah.
can maybe add it to the plans when you resubmit
Okay,
that
maybe
detail,
Update.
yeah, but the blue is fine.
So the shed will be blue in color?
To us here. So that's the color of the shed. No problem. No problem. No problem. So you want to recap, and catch it and make sure we're clear?
Alright. Lighting to be installed on the left side of the overhead door. Shed to be in the color blue. And applicant to revise. Are all the changes on the revised plans that will be stamped approved? Are all the changes on the set of plans?
This is not, this one right here, but, I have to update that page because this shows the flooring.
Okay,
So this is just a recent, as per 2 days ago, she sent me some comments about the floor. And I was able to make the design change after I spoke to the engineer. So I haven't had time to update that entire drawing,
okay,
but I will, but I did upload that detail to
okay.
both her building department website and to the planning website. Application.
All right.
For the two applications.
So maybe just ensure that whatever final plans you submit have all necessary revisions.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Your motion to approve with the conditions? Is there a second?
I second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
You're welcome. Aye. Thank you.
Okay. Last item on the agenda, item 4.1, 10-16, East Broad Street, section 165.3, single family residence district. This is an administrative item. The applicant, represented by attorney Robert B. Funk, is requesting an extension of time on prior certificates of appropriateness as well as approvals from the other two land use boards.
Correct.
The board should determine whether they can grant the extension. So essentially, you're requesting an extension from our board as well as the planning board. And is there another board that you're requesting?
Yes, we're all three
Zoning-
boards, zoning
Zoning
boards,
as
correct,
well?
right.
Okay,
So just as a history of the project was approved in 2018 by the zoning board, and they granted certain area and use variances. Subsequent to that, in 2019, the planning board granted the approvals of the site plan. And the reason that the project wasn't, and there was other discussions also subsequent to that pertaining to a pilot program and other forms of governmental programs. None of those came to fruition. We went to the county and then also to the city of Mount Vernon. We've been in contact with the mayor, and basically we have adhered to her of no pilot and also a market rate apartment. And we've conceded to that, and that's what we're building. Last year, we were ready to proceed, but the permit had expired. The permit was originally issued in 2022, was for 1 year. We seek the extension and to commence the work. It wasn't granted. We then sent letters pertaining to that we wanted an extension. That was not granted until we had further conversations with the City Corporation Council and the mayor. And at this point, this is where we are. Based on the specifics of the statute, it is something that we should have a right to have, based on the fact that we did comply with we demolished everything that was at the site. We did get a building permit, and based on economic situations and based on COVID and the financial economic situation, it wasn't built. But we are ready to build now, according to what the city wants us to do, and we're ready to proceed immediately upon approval by all three boards and issuance of a building permit by the building department. As I mentioned to you before, under section 26736 of the code, we have complied with the first provision, which is to have the issuance of a building permit. So that prong of the equation has been satisfied. The second prong would be that further extensions can be granted for an additional 12-month period based on economic situations, COVID, and so on and so forth, which I believe in this specific case we have. So I'm requesting that respectfully that a 2-year extension is granted based on the exact same blueprint, exact same plans. Nothing has been changed since what was approved is going to be built. And if that's granted, then we can proceed and get this built.
Are we the first board?
No, you're the second board. The first board was last night and that was approved.
A zoning board? Either? Okay.
Any specific questions, anything? And as I mentioned, nothing's changed. Everything is exactly the way
yeah.
it was built by Tom Abalama, who's actually here earlier.
Any questions, Commissioner? No questions. Is there anyone from the public here? When you come up, just state your name and your address.
20 East Broad. I'm right adjacent to this property. I'm all for it. I did have a few concerns because it's been since 2017 to now. A lot has changed. I mean, the plan hasn't changed, but everything else has. I did brought it up with the applicant today. I called him, I had a few questions in reference to the fencing. On the drawing, it was 4 feet. And I asked if he could go any higher, like 6 or 8. I think 8 might be the maximum. He agreed that he'll do that. Also on my side, the cars are parking parallel, like they're vertical. So the front of the car would be coming. So I asked that if he could put up a sign on his side of the wall that the cars go face in. So their exhaust is not directly to the boundary, because I use my backyard too.
Yeah.
He agreed that he would do that. And then I had another concern about the shrubs that they're planting on the inner side of their fence. They were planting some greeneries on the inner side. I mean, seeing that all the environmental change and we don't have so many greenery in the neighborhood, on the drawing, there were little shrubs. I asked that if we could do something taller, bigger. He agreed that we would talk to the landscapers and see what would grow in that area with the shade and the fence behind it. So, they were really cooperating, like whatever I brought up. And even on the garden floor, on the upper floor, they have like a pergola on one side. So I asked that it not be on my side, because on the other side, it's the back of a commercial
Right.
building. He agreed that that's on the opposite end. And I also had a concern about whether there'll be open flame, any barbecue or cooking up there. He said, no, I guess that's also a fire violation.
Cool.
And then he said it's also maybe electric, but he's not up for any cooking up there. So I guess that was one of the things that I was concerned, like how much entertainment is up there. there is a gym that's closed, but then there's open space. So, depends on how much go on up there. It's another bunch, noise and smoke and whatever. But it seems to be from what I understand, that it's all like garden area, seating, and the gym is inside. So if there's no cooking and the pergola is on the other side, I guess if there is some sort of birthday or whatever, it's on the other side. So they were very cooperative. So, I mean, I'm all ready to go. This property's been vacant for so long. Something's gotta come there. So, and I mean, we do have a good relationship that when I talk to them, they're willing to adjust. One of my concerns that I also brought up last night was the noise of machinery. I mean, when there's construction, I mean, this is not an undeveloped area. This is a residential area. We had equipments being moved at 3 a.m. twice already. I don't think is acceptable. I mean, we all wanted, I have people in the neighborhood, they're not here tonight, but they're all at my door when anything happens. Like, I'm the headquarters for the property. But then I say to them, I says, I will talk to them. I mean, they want to do this, but we have to take the people on the street in consideration. They don't live there, but it's their property and they're willing to work with everybody on the block. So I think we're on a good page.
I'm so happy to hear that you're already good neighbors.
Yes.
They actually got planted the last couple of years.
Well,
Oh, I know.
we've been maintaining the
Walk in
place
that
since. I
area.
mean, we
They're
plant the garden, we shovel the snow.
Yeah.
We shovel the snow, we throw the soil,
Yeah.
this land is clean, it's ready to
Yeah.
go. They don't have to cut a tree down,
Right,
a bush down, like it's ready to go.
right.
Are you the White House next to the
On the
property?
left.
On
On
the
the
left
west
side.
side.
Yes, yeah.
She's called a couple times, the people kind of dumb.
I mean,
Yeah.
they've
Yeah.
dumped, like we had construction people literally dump bags of trash across the fence. My husband would have to go and pick all these bags up and take it because we try to keep it. I mean,
Not
not
would have to, but kind enough to.
Well, I mean,
To your point.
We walk.
No,
the
I agree.
block, And
Yeah.
I mean, I go around with a glove in my hand and pick up all the trash.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
we live here.
Yeah,
And so we all
yeah.
have to get along.
For sure.
And they're willing to work with everybody. So I
Good.
just hope when it comes to the construction is noise and is chaos.
Yeah.
But if we could keep it at a level, I mean,
And at
7
a
o'clock
time.
is not too bad, but 3 a.m. is ridiculous. So, I mean, I would work with them and they're willing to introduce me to whoever the contractor is, like supervisor is on the job. So if we can get this peacefully, would be great.
Fingers
Well, there is
crossed,
a noise
that's-
ordinance also, so you
Yeah.
know.
Okay,
We
Is
did
it
discuss
noisy?
that also, and we apologize for that.
Yes.
Yeah.
There were some restrictions placed on when they could bring the equipment
Yeah,
to the site, and that's probably why they probably brought it a little too early, but it's usually very early that they allow us to put equipment on the sites. They don't allow us to do it during the day,
right,
and that's probably
right.
where they did the demolition of the prior structure.
right.
There's a request that this board would have for your plantings for them to be native. If you could
Sure.
note that,
Just.
native plantings
Native, yeah.
for the property. And I have a question because how do you manage the dust? How do you manage that? And you're so close to so many homes. Is it watered down?
Basic structure. So hopefully what will happen there is a concrete structure. So basically it's gonna be a floor and the building will be up. And then it's basically going to be internal, retrofitting on the
Okay.
structure. So it makes it a lot easier. If you have a stick-built building, then it's a little more invasive because you're doing one floor at a time. But again, the objective now is to, again, it's a cost increase based on the fact that it's a cement structure, but that's probably what's gonna happen.
Okay.
And it should be fairly quickly. We plan on doing it, fairly quickly in time, not to disturb things. And then go, and then do all the retrofitting inside, hopefully, next year.
Well, I also brought that up with the applicant. I mean, like in terms of dust, I mean, they're willing to power wash my house, like do whatever is necessary at the end. I mean, also there is some digging involved, and so there is gonna be some dust. I mean, I would think that you would contain that with water if you're digging and it's very dusty and you're so close to a house. I mean, they seem to be very flexible, so, I mean, whatever.
We have other developments, I mean, we are in the Vernon too, but we have other developments in other areas, and, we try to maintain a nice building. That will, you know, enhances the value and enhances the beauty. And I think it's a great place. And I think it will be a impact. I mean, they had to deal with, a bar, because people in here, which really was a lot of noise. And even when I got there a couple of times, there was a lot of noise going on, especially with the rooftop.
It's not there anymore.
So I'm sure
They're not
that
there
it's
anymore.
Not there anymore.
For what?
It's not there anymore.
No, I know.
Okay, well, thank you. Thank you for all that
I
you
appreciate that.
do for the neighborhood. Is there anyone else here that,
So he's one of the.
he's with you?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
It's wonderful to see the neighbor.
You have to work with the community, otherwise it doesn't work. Right.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Is there a motion to grant the extension?
And can I,
Pardon me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
just to make clear,
Thank you.
the extension that will be granted according to the code would be a 1-year extension to obtain your building permit. And after that, you'll have 2 years to complete construction after the building permit. So if you need another extension to complete construction, then you can come back for that second. It would be an extension for the construction side.
Right.
So the motion would be to grant a 1-year extension to obtain the building permit, which comes with the additional 2 years to complete construction after the permit is issued.
And native planting.
And that will be noted.
Okay, thank you for that
Thank you.
detail and summary. Is there a motion?
I make a motion to approve with the outlining conditions.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great evening.
Thank you.
Safe home, everyone.
Okay, that was the last item. Is there a motion to adjourn the meeting? Is that a motion to adjourn the
Oh,
meeting?
yes, I make a motion to adjourn.
Is there a second? All in favor?
Aye.